Alright guys, welcome once again. My name is Badaulu Akpamileri. I am a brand identity designer and a teacher, and also a design person. Yeah, I welcome you once again to this advanced class section. Yeah, and I want to believe that over time, with the little experience we had and the little classes we were able to cover for the beginner class, and with the touch of continuous practice and consistency that you guys have inputted into the process, I want to believe that now it's time for us to dive into the deep sea, and I assure you are in the best stance. So we're going to be diving in together, and I'm going to be taking you through some deep dive. So this is going to be interesting, this is going to be challenging, this is going to be mind-blowing. You have to take every of my sentence with utmost seriousness. Yeah, so just like Paul said, that there was a time that we take milk as Christian, and there are some that there's a particular time that we start eating meat. Now, you ever seen that a toddler can still take milk, but when it comes to meat, it has to go through the process of having a teeth. So we are about to get to eat some very tough meat. Yeah, something like pomo. Exactly. So for this section, we're going to be starting with brand identity designing, and the reason why I'm starting with brand identity design, apart from the fact that it's my niche, is also that this is what it's in vogue, in trend. This is what is bringing in the money now, when as part graphic designing and logo designing. And also I want to believe that now we've been able to decide on the kind of niche that we're going to be going into, if it is logo designing or branding or brand identity design, any you want to call it, or flyer design, yeah, or UI UX. Yes, UI UX is also part of graphic design, though they don't always want to agree, but it's part of graphic design. So either of the niche you want to go for, I want to believe that we already have an idea of what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to be touching every of those stuff in this section, so that at least after the section you'll be able to now decide that, okay, which one am I going for and which one am I going for. So I welcome you guys to class once again, and I want to say I'm happy you guys are taking this next step, and it shows how much seriousness and dedication you guys put into it, and I want to expect the double of that same energy in this class. So not to bore you with a lot of talk, because time is money. Yes, so we are going to be talking about branding, talking about the significance of branding, why is branding necessary. We're going to be moving to logo designing, everything that entails branding, the presentation, how to create a normal brand guideline. Yes, it's going to be a very long one, and please, I want you to stay with me, even if I cough on this topic. There's a meaning to it. Yes, there's a meaning to it. So as much as we are going to be touching a lot, we can't exhaust everything, because I personally am also in the class to learn another aspect of brand identity design. So it's not something that we can dive into and just come out like that. It's something very large, but that's for those that will be taking it as their niche anyways. For if you're not taking it as your niche, you just want to have like a knowledge, something very basic, and then very vast in it, this will also suffice. You understand? Now I need to start with the notion that logo design or logo is not branding. Logo is not branding, but logo is part of branding process. Logo is not branding, but logo is part of branding process. Now what does branding mean? Branding is like the process of creating a name, image, or a reputation. In accounting we call it like goodwill, for a product, a service, or your company. So it's just like you have a company, you have a product you want to sell, you have a services you are rendering, you have a service you are trying to render. When you want to give it a name or try to give it something different, that is like branding. It encompasses like sum up of all experience, your perception and interaction to the customer with business. Do you understand? Yeah. And in this type of nature, in this type of process, sometimes you just have to move away from your laptop and have basic knowledge of what kind of image you want to create, what kind of tone you want to pass across to your clients, what kind of tone you want to give to your audience, what is the mission of your company, what is the vision of your company, what are your objectives. You understand? So it takes a longer process than what you can imagine, but I want to believe that when we dive into it fully, you are going to understand the process that go into creating a unique and a quality brand. Alright, so that is branding. That is like the process of creating all of this. Now, brand identity design itself it's like a visual and creative expression of a brand's identity, and it includes logo design, color palette, typography, imagery, graphics, tone, language. It's just like creating a consistent visual representation of the brand. It also entails of the visual design, 3D mock-up, presentation, brand in action, and all of this. Now all of these are just English that I'll break down. And so because I said when we started the class that logo design is not branding and logo is part of branding, so I'm going to be starting with logo design. Yes, I'm going to be starting with logo design, and that's the reason why you can see the image on the screen currently. So these are like the 9 types of logo design that we have, and I'm going to be touching in this class. So please, I need your rapt attention. I need your rapt attention. Yes, I need your rapt attention. Please just follow me. Yeah. So the first one is word mark. So we have 9 types of logo. We have the word mark, we have the letter forms, we have the monogram, we have symbol, we have abstract, we have mascot, we have emblems, combo, and dynamic. Now every of these type of logo have their own examples, and I've been able to come up with this 9 and develop the ones that that and you guys will be familiar with. Like for the word mark, we have for Wix, it's like an application or a website for web designing. Letter forms, that's that's a letter form for McDonald's. HBO, that's a monogram logo. We have the Twitter, the old Twitter logo. We have abstract, that's Nike logo just to it. We have mascot, that's Michelin for a tire producing company. We have emblems for that. We have combo, that's Taco Bell. Combination of the word mark and symbol. Yes, word mark and symbol, and that's dynamic, Virgin Media Dynamic. Alright, so these are the 9 logos that we are going to be talking about. So quickly we want to move to the first one, and when we move on to this first one, or the things that we want to do, I'm going to be taking you guys through the example that we can resonate with. So please just follow me. The class will be as interesting as possible and also will be mind-blowing, so I need you to pay rapt attention to me. This is not the time that you're going to be playing with your laptop or you're going to be playing with your phone. This is the time for you to learn, because if you don't learn, you might want to learn the hard way, and I don't want you to learn the hard way, so don't play now. Yeah. So the first one that we're going to be talking about is word mark. Now when we're discussing graphic design in the basic class, in the beginner class, I told you guys that these things are just English. Just have the prior understanding of what this English means or these words means, then bring it to graphic design. Now when we talk about word mark, you can split it into 2. We have the word and we have the mark. Do you understand? So what is the combination of these 2 words? What is going to bring out for us? Now bringing it to design, word mark consists of the company's name written in a certain typeface or font. I want to believe now I don't have to be explaining typeface or font to us. We are in the advanced class here, obviously. So While this may sound very straightforward, as Steve Jobs said, simple can be harder than complex. Now, to successfully learn how to design a logo, you need to pay extra attention to every little detail. Now, example of this kind of logo, we have the Wix, we have the Coca-Cola, we have the Subway, we have the Casper, we have the Kellogg's, we have the eBay, and we have the West Ham. Alright, so because I want this class to be as practical as possible, I'm going to be taking you through the logos that we are conversant with. Now, the first one I'm going to be checking is the Coca-Cola logo. We all know that this is like the Coca-Cola logo. We are all familiar with it. You know, every one of us, like, there's nobody that will tell me that does not know the Coca-Cola logo, at least. So what I'm trying to bring out here is that is a word mark. Now you will see that this is a Coca-Cola. There's no way you're going to see it. It's just Coca-Cola. Now it might not be written in the kind of font that we know, but this is a word mark, which means that the entire name of the brand is written in a particular typeface or font. Now it's not only Coca-Cola we have that is that kind of logo. We have for eBay logo, we have for the eBay logo, and you can see that it's a combination of EBAY. It's just eBay, and you can see it's in a particular different font and typeface. We have for Kellogg's also, for those of you that like what is it called, cereal. Yeah, so we have for Kellogg's also, and this is their logo. So this is the brand name, but it's also serving as a logo, though the representation is in a different kind of typeface or font. So this is also a particular type of logo. This is the first type of logo, word mark. It's just the word, the name of the brand. Now you have to be careful when you're designing logo like this, because if you don't understand what typography means or typeface, how to coin it, you might be doing rubbish. You understand? So every of these design have the reason why they come up with any of this. You understand? So you don't just get to your laptop and just design anything, and just in the name of saying okay, you want to design a word mark and you're designing rubbish. You have to have a vast knowledge about it and how you can go about it, so that it can represent what the brand itself is all about. Now I need to ship this in that for every logo you create, there must be a meaning. It must resonate with the brand mission, the brand vision, and the objective. So you don't just create something because it's fine. You don't create something because that's what you feel will be good. You create something because that is what the client brand is all about. So you are trying to represent what the brand and the client mission and vision is. You're trying to represent it visually to the audience, just to pass across and bridge that gap of communication. So you are standing in the middle of the brand owner and the audience. So the brand owner is just like telling you what to do, and you're translating it visually, and you know, you are representing it visually and something that the audience can, you know, understand. So whatever you are going to be doing, whatever logo you are going to be designing, or whatever logo you are going to be designing, must be something that the audience can reason with, can understand, and is something that goes hand in hand with the company's mission and vision. Right, so that's the first one that we are talking about, word marks. Now the next one we are going to be talking about is letter forms. Now letter forms are one letter logos that only include the first letter of the company's name. Often brands will have an additional version of their logo that comprises their full business name, called a word mark, as explained above, to be used in different occasions. A good example is McDonald's, Facebook, Netflix, and Pinterest. Now for Facebook, we know we have the F as their logo, but they still have the Facebook written in full as their word mark. That does not mean that the word mark is their logo, but they have a letter form which is F that we all can resonate with. McDonald's we know is M, Netflix is N, Pinterest is P, Uber is U, Beats is B. So but that does not mean that they still don't have their name spelled out when they are writing it out, but there is a particular logo we all can say and can resonate with immediately we see them. So those are the example of letter forms. It includes only the first letter of the company's name, only the first letter of the company's name. Right, moving on, we have letter marks, aka monogram logos. But let's just keep them as letter marks. Let's pick the first one so that we don't mix it up, because we still have monogram logo in the front. Now these are typography logos that are made up of brand initials. Now this one is different from the letter form. Letter form is made up of one letter, possibly the first letter of the brand's name. And I said Facebook, Netflix, McDonald's, Uber, Beats. Now we are talking about letter marks now. They are made up of the brand initials. So if you are saying Bada Babalola, that means that's BB. If you are saying Aliko Dangote, that's AD. That's like the initials of the brand. Now in most cases, brands that have monogram logos or letter marks are referred to by their abbreviated version when speaking, like IBM and NASA. Now when was the last time you heard someone say National Aeronautics and Space Administration? I'm very sure that most of you in the class don't even know that that's the meaning of NASA. We also have, we have CNN, we have HP, and we have Louis Vuitton, we have LV. We have a lot of logos like that is only the abbreviated version we know, and we don't know that they have meaning. The names have meaning. HP, I think it was when I was taking a class on logo designing that when I was making my research and trying to compile my slide, that was when I knew that HP really has meaning. You understand? I just thinking that it's just HP is HP. You understand? We have CNN, we have BBC. So most of us, we grow up seeing news on CNN. We don't even bother to know if CNN, what the meaning of CNN, no. But everybody, at least, you follow your parents to the bank, you go to the bank to deposit money, you're always seeing CNN, BBC, and everything. So we all can resonate with that logo, but we actually don't even know the full name. Now the reason why such logos are created is because the designer or the brand owner don't want you to stress yourself trying to pronounce the full name, or probably it's too long. You understand? So they just feel like, okay, let's just save these people the stress and come up with an abbreviation. That's why we have the CNN, we have the HP, and we have the Louis Vuitton. We have a lot. Yeah, we have a lot of logos like that they are abbreviated. Now for CNN is Cable News Network. CNN is Cable News Network. We have a lot of them like that they are just coined with abbreviations, and those are called letter marks logos. Moving on, we have the logo symbols. Now just like the name implies, symbols, they are graphical icons, symbols or objects or images. Now when you are talking about logo symbol, it means that any symbol that you are putting in that logo must resonate with what the brand is doing. So if I am selling knife, it is just right that knife must be on my logo if you are working on a logo symbol type of logo design. Please follow me. If I sell rice, according to what logo symbol means, it means that the logo must represent an object from the real world and must also represent the activity of my brand. Yeah, so if I am selling bag, there must be a real world object that represents what my brand is all about. Now I told you guys that for every logo you create must have a meaning. You don't just create something anyhow. Now it is when you are trying to defend the logo that you design, that is when we will know if it is a logo symbol, if it is a word mark, if it is a letter form, or if it is a letter mark. Now a very good example of this kind of logo is Shell. We have Apple, we have Twitter, we have Target, Instagram, and Snapchat. Now don't be confused, because we have Apple there don't mean that they sell Apple. Of course you know that Apple, they produce iPhone and other iOS devices, and Shell is into manufacturing and distribution of oil. We all know Twitter is a social media app, but take your time to read the meaning behind these logos. You understand that it still resonates with the brand identity and the activity of the brand. So and we see like Major League Baseball, you will see baseball on their logo. Church logos, oh my god, you see Jesus, you see sometimes you are not seeing the dove. I think dove has really survived in the hands of designers. You see dove, because we try to make it depict Holy Spirit. you see cross, cavalry, at least to signify the death of Jesus Christ. So most times it's always there. So when you see those kind of logo, they don't need to tell you that this is the church logo, because you are seeing the cross, you are seeing the rosary, you are seeing dove, you are seeing a lot of fire and every anointing oil, anything. So they are bringing something from the real world. Now, because those logos sometimes might not look professional to you, does not mean that they are wrong. The designer is working on a logo symbol type of logo design. Fine, there are some designers that design them wrongly, but that does not mean that kind of logo is wrong. The designer might be doing it wrongly, but that does not erase the fact that there's a kind of logo design that such form of logo falls under. Do you understand? So when you see all of those things, don't just see that it's a cake or something. There's a particular category that kind of logo falls under, and it just has to be under it. Church logo. You cannot create a church. You cannot want to create a church logo now and make it fall under a letter form. It won't look okay. It won't really give out that impression that it's supposed to give. You understand? So it's either it has a word, it's either it just have a logo symbol. That's why most times you're going to see sun. Anyhow they want to do it. Though most of the churches now don't really use the logo symbol. People are trying to come up with new ideas. So let's kind of check. Let's check Avestas, for example. Avestas logo. Yeah. This one is standing as H. You understand? But as a Christian, I'm very sure that you'll still be trying to see the cross. You can still figure out that there's a cross in the logo. You understand? Also, you agree with me that New Heritage Baptist Church logo, the fact that the church is there and you're seeing NHBC, the NHBC there is like the brand initials. You understand? That's like a letter mark. Is like the brand initials. You understand? But on a normal day, when you want to check RCCG logo now, RCCG logo, you see the dove. Do you understand? Where you want to check MFM logo, you can see the fire. You understand? Every of these logos have their own meaning, and they are created in to resonate and to work with logo symbol, which the church logo falls under. And for CAC, you see the shepherd and the flock, because their motto is one fold, one shepherd. So that is the type of logo design that the church design falls under. So because it looks like that does not mean that they are totally wrong, or they are the designers are doing anything bad. Yeah. So please, it can be categorized under the logo symbol, brand marks, or pictorial marks, but let's just stick with logo symbol. Moving on, we have abstract logo mark. Now these are image-based logos that use abstract forms to reflect a company's branding. Unlike pictorial marks, which that's the logo symbol that we talked about, that represent a real object, abstract logo marks are more metaphorical. Now, for every one of us that did literature or English, you know that metaphor is a comparison with inanimate objects. So when we talk about abstract logo marks, example is Airbnb, Chanel, Nike, Olympics, Google Drive, Adidas, and Pepsi. So let's check this out. These types of logo are actually interesting when you get to understand the meaning behind these logos. We have the Adidas logo and we have the Nike logo. Yeah, I still have a friend that still call this Nike up to secondary school. Yeah, that's called this Nike up to secondary school. And growing up in Nigeria, you see a lot of fake. You see Nike, Niki, Nike, or anything that you're going to see. But actually, there's a meaning behind this logo, and their brand is just do it. That is like their tagline: just do it. Same applies to Adidas. Now, even searching for Adidas, you see that it has different, different evolution of logo, how it came to work and how it came to place. But there's a particular one that everyone we are familiar with, which is this, and it came to place with the meaning that climbing a mountain. Now, if we are talking about logo symbol, we said is bringing a real life object into the logo. We would have just put a mountain, a drawing of a mountain in the logo. But because we are talking about abstract logo marks, it doesn't have to be something real. You understand? You can just pick out something that would depict what you are doing. So just like this, it's showing a form of step, climbing a mountain. Alright, so it won't look as if I'm just saying these things, or maybe I was there when they were designing it. Let's try to let me walk you through the Adidas logo evolution, how this logo comes to life. Now you can see this is the first logo they designed for 1924. Moving to 1949, you can see that they're having boots on it. Alright, now move to 1950, they're having a word mark. Move to 1967 to today, we still have a word mark for Adidas. Move to 1971, we have a combination mark that comprises of a word mark and a pictorial representation of whatsoever they are going to be the meaning of that. And also we have from 1991 to Adidas, which is the one that most of us knows to today. But this is also the Adidas logo, this is also the Adidas logo to today, this is also the Adidas logo to today. It was created 2005. I'm very sure most of us have not even seen this and this, but we are familiar with these two. Now let's keep all of this and go down to the one that we are all familiar with, and you will notice something. Now this is the theme of the logo: climb every mountain, climb every mountain. So just like I explained that every logo must have a meaning. You don't just come up with something because okay, this thing is fine, and I am very sure some of you will be saying they use that thing because it looks like A. You understand? And they're already trying to picture it as a letter form, but no, it's not the letter form. Let's see the meaning behind the logo. Now I said after a successful run at Nike, creating the Air Jordans, Peter Moore came on as creative director to Adidas. Moore brought to life the most famous iteration of the Adidas logo to date. The EQT equipment logo is often called the mountain logo. So the meaning of this logo is called the mountain logo, which depicts climb every mountain. And that was after they had a successful run at creating the popular Air Jordans that we are all rock now. Now let's get to see this. What's the meaning, and why this? So when in 1978 Adidas began to branch out from being just a sports shoe company and entered into the realm of sportswear. Do you understand now that the first logo they created and second logo they created had boots? So that has limited their scope to just creation of a particular type of product. But now that they want to enter into the market of another one, instead of changing the old logo, all this had to do was add another brand or add another mark to their logo. But the Adidas still remain the same. It is still consistent. It is still consistent. Now said as their product offering expanded, so too did their logo. As their product offering expanded, so too did their logo. Now this was the first time since the brand inception that a symbol would reappear alongside the word mark. Word mark was the first type of logo I explained. So unlike the original track sneaker icon, however, this new symbol would remain in permanent circulation. The steadfast trefoil logo representing a three-leaved plant. A three-leaved plant. Leaf 1, leaf 2, leaf 3. Add the trademark 3 stripes covering its bottom half, noticing a trend with trees. This logo would begin to appear on Adidas clothing as of 1972 and shortly thereafter on their shoes as of 1976. The trefoil symbolizes the fast product line Adidas offers, used consistently through the 1990s. The logo has had a resurgence in 2001, lasting from then until present time. Indeed, you often see the icon worn by many celebrities today. So the meaning of this is unveiling the iconic 12 logo. This is a 12 logo that has like 3 leaves. Now, you might not have been looking at this logo with that meaning, but now you understand that just 3 leaves and 3 stripes, which have their own meaning. So they don't just come up with logo, or they don't just come up with another mark adding into their logo without having a definite and clear meaning. So throughout their logo evolution, every of the logo have their own meaning, and the reason why the designers are coming up with all of this is just like the evolution of iPhone from, you know, I don't know, is it from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, we have 8 XR, XX Max, 12 Pro, a lot of that evolution. They all have different things that they are working on. So that is for the product, by the way. But for logo design, there are logos that have their own evolution that way. They don't just evolve anyhow, they have meaning. You understand? Now let's try to check the meaning of the the Nike logo. Let's see if we can quickly get something that we can lay our hands upon, and we just move on. All right. So it says, behind every great brand there is a great logo. You understand? A brand symbol often conveys the message and history of the brand. The Nike logo is no exception from its inception to the present day. Now, what is the meaning of this logo anyway? Fast forward to that. All of that, we are not ready for all the old history. Let's just try to see. Okay, this is the evolution of their logo too, from 1964 to 1971. They were called the Blue Ribbon Sport. I think they start wearing Nike from 1971 to 1978. You can see that we're having a combination, just a slight changes from the small letter Nike to the bold and a slant kind of font, and a field mark 1978 to 1985. Here, instead of having it white, is now black in a box, in a rectangle. Now we are just having the mark without the name, because obviously everyone knows Nike. So let's try to see. The company changed its name, and Carolyn Davidson nailed the logo design. Nike was superimposed on the logo and was written in cursive letters. Now it says in 1978 to 1985, the font was changed to a slanted Futura bold. You can find Futura bold, just Futura bold font download. I'm sure we all know how to download font now. So this is the font that was used for the logo design. Which better embodies the philosophy of the brand and leaves more space for the logo to be fully appreciated. Also, small tweaks to the silhouette of the swoosh were made. That's for 1978 to 85. This. Now, the Nike writing above the logo is made skinner, making the logo even more agile. In the same period, the writing was often completely abandoned as the swoosh had become recognizable worldwide. So this is the swoosh. This Nike is different from this Nike. This is a bit clearer, like the eye and the eye here. So you can see that for every of the evolution, there's a meaning for it. So you get. Now for the latest one, it said the Nike writing above the logo is made skinner, making the logo even more agile. Okay. The Nike symbol meaning is the wing of the Greek goddess of victory and patron of athletes. Metaphorically, wings allow you to move faster and reach the top, all things that an athlete should aspire to. Moreover, the downward direction communicates velocity. You can almost see the Nike emblem moving fast before your eyes. One more cool fact, this logo is one of the very few brands logos that have a proper name, Nike. Alright, so that's just the meaning behind the famous logo Nike. So I guess most of us don't even know the full the full story behind all of this, and you realize that as a brand identity designer, as a logo designer, you have a lot of work to do. So as much as the brand is communicating their ideas to you, you're also looking at how to bring it into display, and so that the audience and the people that are going to be reading it can resonate with it. And you can see that from the changing of names from Blue Ribbon Sports to Nike, and the little changes, tweaking from the Nike in 1978 to 1985 to 1985 to 1995. Now there's a current trend now going about the Fenerbahce logo. The Fenerbahce logo, they said they changed the old. Is it Fenerbahce? No, I don't think it's Fenerbahce. I'm going to remember. Let's just move on. I don't think it's Fenerbahce, but they changed the logo from the one they were using before. And honestly, to someone, I want to believe now that we will understand that there was actually a change in that logo. Still trying to get it. We understand now that there's actually a change from that logo. After we finish this class, you must be able to understand that there's actually a change in that logo. Now, a change in the logo can either be the spacing between the logo, just like this to this, can even be the color. So sometimes it might not be evident to other people, but as a logo designer, you don't need to shout and follow them. You don't need to follow the crowd and shout and say, they've created another new logo. No, you have to sit down and ask yourself, okay, what is the difference in this stuff? What makes it different? What's the new thing? Okay, it's Feyenoord. Yeah, what's the new thing? What's the new thing there? Why the new one? Do you get? So you must be able to sit down and ask yourself. You don't just join people to shout. You are a designer. You don't just do something like that. Do you understand? Now they also have their own evolution. They have their own evolution of logo, and if you will notice, the F has been dominant in their logo right from the onset. The F has been dominant in their logo. So it's not like it's something that they are just introducing to the logo. The F has been dominant. Even though they are still changing their name, but I think right from 1978, the F has been there. The red and white has been there. They've just been tweaking it. Now this was the old one. The new one has its own different. I wish I can bring it up now, but I know before the end of the class I'll be able to push it outside so that we can try to notice the difference in the logo. Yeah, alright, so I have the old logo and the new logo on the screen now. The Feyenoord Rotterdam old logo and new logo. Now people have been there've been a lot of shouting on the social media since morning. I'm following the trend, but as a logo designer, I can pinpoint like 3 different evident change on this logo. But to others, they might be thinking that they are going to change all the old name and everything. But when you check the evolution, you realize that they've been using Seku from 1930. They've been using the same thing, just been tweaking a lot of things on the logo. Now the new one, you ask yourself, what is the difference? Now there's a more saturated red. This red is different from this red. We are graphic designers, and you obviously can agree that we have different shades of red. Now this red is different from this red. This one, there's a more saturated red. You understand? Now the shade of the gold that was used in this is not the same thing that is being used here in the new one. This one is a bit lighter than this. Do you understand? Now the kerning of the Feyenoord text has been altered. Do you understand? Now the space between these two things are what is called kerning is different from what is here. I really wish I can make us see it, and probably there's a way we can measure it, just to let you know that they are actually like evident changes. You understand? Now you will notice that even this line after the red is not on the new one. You understand? Now it gives the F the breathing space. Yeah, but in this place there is also another good line here interfering with this logo. But now people are saying there is no difference in the logo. But I hope now I've been able to prove to you beyond reasonable doubt that I've even been able to identify like 4 different things. But the truth is that after the designer is done with the whole process and it brings out the real, the full details of the rebranding, you will reason with what he has come up with and realize that okay, what is actually doing is just a rebranding process, and it does not even need to change everything on the logo. It might look the same, but I tell it to you and I put it to you today that there are 2 different types of logo. Alright, so that is, by the way, going back to what we have been discussing about the abstract logo mark, where we have the Channel, the Nike, the Olympics, Google Drive, Adidas and Pepsi. So every logo have their evolution, especially for the ones that use this abstract logo mark, because they are trying to infuse image based abstract stuff into it, just to make sure that they are still able to communicate effectively to their audience. Now we move to mascot, and when we talk about mascot, is it consists of an illustrated characters that act as visual representation or ambassadors for a brand. Example of this is the Michelin Man by Michelin and the KFC. Those are just like the best example to use. The KFC logo, when you check the KFC logo, you see an old man. This is the illustrated mascot behind the logo. This is the KFC logo, the mascot. So it falls under the mascot type of logo. But don't forget, we also have the award mark. This is the KFC. We have the award mark. Now please follow me. We have the KFC, but we also have the illustrated mascot that serves as the ambassador, or the visual representation of what the brand is all about. Now KFC sells chicken, but are you seeing chicken on the logo? No, but we are seeing a man smiling. Why? Okay, issue is that he is the owner of the brand actually, but it does not even depend on because he's the owner of the brand. Now let's check this other one, the Michelin logo mini. Now most of us might have seen this kind of logo before, probably, especially where they sell tires. Now you ask yourself, who is this person, what is this person doing, and why this kind of logo. Now they also have their own evolution, and they have their own meaning, and they have their own history. So because of time, I don't want to dive into that. I'll just take us through the meaning of the mascot. Do you understand? Now I need to first tell you that the mascot was created with different tires. The body looks like that because it was created with tires, but the main reason is because Edward noticed a pile of tires on the Michelin stand and commented to his brother that with arms it would make a man. So what does the Michelin symbol really means? It's a symbol of quality introduced by the prestigious Michelin Guide in 2018. It's given to restaurants that offer quality food and wine experience. Okay, let's move straight down to their meaning. I don't want to take time, but I also want us to understand that it's not just about coming up with something. It has to be something that will make sense. Do you get? It has to be something that makes sense and something that resonates with the brand. And don't be deceived. The guy that worked on that Feyenoord logo might be paid millions of naira, millions of dollars. I say naira, millions of dollars for those little changes he made on that design. Millions of dollars. But I'm very sure, even if that logo was given to me that I should be brand, I'll be thinking of creating a new one. Instead of working on the lapses of the old logo, to come up with something. But trust me, you do also want to try that with Nigeria's client. Gives his former logo and you're bringing something like this to him, tell you that you've not done anything. Don't say that you've not done anything. But meanwhile, in the actual sense, as a graphic designer, you've actually done a lot. So let's see. Okay. Okay, you see from here it says every designer that worked on the new versions of the logo brought about his own interpretation of the mascot. In the current version of the Michelin logo, Bibendum waves his hand as if to greet the motorist driving past the company's offices. Yes. Now, when you move around anywhere and you're passing in front of the Michelin company, you always see this mascot. Now, I think the name is Bibendum. That is the name. And you know, why was that logo created? You know, just to wave his hand as if to greet the motorist driving past the company's office. That okay, motorist, so in case your tire is crying that there's a need for you to change it, we are here. See, understand, sir? Now it's not just that someone just decided to sit down and decide to draw. You know, you ask yourself, how will you even sit down and draw something like this? How will you sit down and just draw something like this? It does not even look like something that can even come to your head to do. You understand? But you know, because probably the kind of country we find ourselves, we might not actually have this kind of thinking that okay, why would I even decide to come up with a kind of logo like this for a client? But you know, when you check the meanings of this logo, you just be wowed and be like, wow, so these guys are really not playing and they have meaning to all of this. You understand? So we have the emblem. Now, emblem, also known as badge logos, are typically reminiscent of crest. They combine text and symbolic imagery to form ornate designs with a traditional feel. Now, these ones are they are very dynamic in nature. They combine text, symbolic imagery, not just any type of imagery, symbolic. That means it has something, that's an origin. So that's something that you can trace it to form ornate designs with a traditional feel. Now, most times it's found around popular among universities, sports teams, and coffee brands. And the best, you know, obviously the best team that can use to represent that is Manchester United. Now, so I'm going to show you the meaning of the Manchester United logo, and I'm also going to show you, you know, let's see Chelsea logo too. Manchester United logo. You know, we also want to see Chelsea, the Rent FC, London Cowboys. Let's see their logo. Let's see how it looks like. And yes, without forgetting our brother-in-law, Arsenal. Now, we are going to check through all of this together. Now, you see in this logo, it has its own meaning. This same also have its own meaning. I'm very sure that even some Chelsea fans do not know the meaning of their logo. You understand? And Arsenal also, they have their own meaning. Even though they've not been able to gun anybody down, they call themselves gunners. You know, we know Chelsea. They said at some point the dog that was on their logo ran away. And we know that Manchester United, the devil is not constant. You understand? So most time the devil is there to do his worst, and most time the devil maybe is even doing the thing. We don't know, but we know that there is devil. Now, let's check for the meaning. Let's check for the meaning, and you know, we just dive straight to the other ones, and you know, we end the class so that we can digest everything that I have been saying since the beginning of the class. Now, safe to say that Manchester United also have an evolution of their logo. That's an evolution of the logo, and this is the evolution of the logo of Manchester United logo. So they don't just come around using that one that is popular. So started with the Newton, this, move to this, move to this. I think here the devil is not there. Here it was introduced back here. We moved here, and this is where we are now. Now let's try to check what it means. The first true badge of Manchester United took inspiration from the Manchester coat of arms. It carries the city motto of Consilio et Labor, meaning wisdom and effort, and 3 yellow stripes represented the Irwell, Ark and Medlock rivers that run through and around the city. I think that was the first one. This one, the first one, yeah. So let's check the one behind the Red Devil Zone. At least like that's the current one that they use, the crest. You can see that it says crest, the origin of the Manchester United crest and logo. And according to the slide, it says emblem, also known as badge logos, are typically reminiscent of crests. Alright, so I hope you guys are noticing all of this simple detail. Yeah, so we want to check the brief to know the recent one that Manchester United is actually using. So this is the logo that we now see on the club kit. It is essentially the same one as the 1973 edition, but with slight modifications and refinement to give it a modern look. The logo has essentially gone unchanged in the past 23 years, unlike other clubs that have gone for simplified logos in search of better marketing prospects, such as Inter Milan or the noisy neighbors. Who are the noisy neighbors? Or the noisy neighbors. Alright, we are not here to drag anybody, but let's continue. United Crest is entrenched with history and legacy, and for this reason it is hard to imagine it being changed anytime soon. They've actually not given us the real rationale behind the logo itself, but we all know that it's having a link to the coat of arms of Manchester. We're having the coat of arms from Manchester. Yeah, it's having the coat of arms from Manchester, and it still follows the first one. So let's just try to calm down and check, because all of this will help you in your processes when you are trying to design a logo, and everything that they're going to be doing. Okay, now it used to be Manchester United Football Club before. Now the new one is United. It wasn't much different from the previous one. As a result of a minor cosmetic repair, the inscription Football Club was removed and the word United was placed at the bottom. The inscription on it was compressed horizontally and added a black outline. For a long time, Manchester United didn't have a consistent emblem during the final match, the same way that they are not always consistent. So, during the final matches of the FA Cup, players wore shirts with the image of the Lancastrian Scarlet Rose, then with the city's emblem. Everything changed when Matt Busby suggested playing the nickname Red Devils in the symbolism. He hoped it would intimidate opponents. Well, of course, it intimidated them, of course. It might not be now, but it intimidated them. Yeah. So they replaced the Football Club with United, which was supposed to make the brand more international. Fans didn't like this decision, so team owners Avram and Joe Glazer promised to consider restoring the old logo. They are always doing rubbish, Glazers. The lettering of the 1998 Manchester United logo is done in a sans serif font, roughly similar to ITC Stone Sans semi-bold. This sans serif font was created by American typographer Sumner Stone while working at Adobe. Wow. The palette of the emblem fluid replicates the official colors of the Professional Football Club. Now you can see that they even give us the color palette to the logo itself. Do you understand? Now we have the font and the colors. Why they are using that font and colors, you can see the colors is a maximum red, the Cavendish yellow and black. Now we are not going to all of that, but I need you to also know something. Note all of this, because when we start designing logo and we want to create a brand identity, we are going to touch every of these things. We are going to talk about the font and the colors, why we are using those font and colors. We are going to give them the X color code, the RGB, the CMYK and the Pantone, and also the name of the red and of the color they are going to be using. The reason is because if I employed as the next Manchester United graphic designer now, and I need to work on their design, I don't need to go and ask the first person that designed the logo. All I just need to know is to have the color code and hex code of all the colors that was used for the design or for the logo. So I don't need to call on anybody. All I just need to ask for, please can I have the color code, the color palette, and the typography. And we already know that it's a sans serif fonts and these are the color code. Did you understand? But bringing us back to our logo design and the category of the logo we are talking about, what's it called now? Emblem. Do you understand? So look, Chelsea also have their own, I think their own is lion. Okay, yes, it was based on elements in the coat of arms of the Metropolitan Bureau of Chelsea, with the lion rampant regardant taken from the arms of then club president Viscount Chelsea and the staff from the abbots of Westminster. They are always borrowing things, the same way they are borrowing stadium. Former lords of the manor of Chelsea. Why is Chelsea badge a lion? The original lion badge was adopted by the club following the arrival of Ted Drake as manager. Okay, we all know Chelsea to always borrow, always renting, so you can see that the lion was even taken from the arms of the club president then, and the staff was from the abbot of the Westminster. Nothing really, but it's an emblem type of logo. It has text and also a symbolic image, which is the lion, you understand, and has a traditional feel. Now brother, yeah, don't let us even touch this logo. Let's just move forward, please. All right, so they have, and most times, especially for baseball logo, you always see there, because they have this symbolic imagery. The baseball is there, and a lot of story. Sometimes when you read the story about behind logos, that all this kind of emblems logo, it might even be resonating with far back as the first person that even created the state, probably his name or what he likes doing, and it's still on that logo. That is what emblems logo looks like. They have a combination of text, a symbolic imagery, and with a traditional feel. Do you understand? Just to make it look old. Now this is the simplest. Combination marks is a type of logo that combines image with words. For example, a combination logo could consist of an icon with a word mark or a mascot with a letter form. Now, don't confuse yourself yet. We've talked about the word mark, where we talked about having just a name. You get, talked about letter forms. It's just one letter. We talked about letter mark. Where we talked about the brand initials and everything. Now we're talking about combination logo. Now for something like this is a combination logo. Why? Because it has both the mascot and the word mark. Now KFC can stand on its own as a word mark, and the mascot can obviously stand on its own as a mascot logo. But when the two of them are coming together, we call them combination mark. The same thing applies to Netflix. We always see the N when they're about to start the movie. We always see the Netflix most times on the flyer or on the designs of the movie. But this is actually how it can stand, and also there is the N behind the full Netflix. I'm trying to find the combination mark for the design. Alright, so this is like a combination mark of both the N and the word mark, the letter form and the word mark. I've already taken us through the letter forms that have just the first letter of the brand, and we also talk about word marks that just the brand name in a particular or certain typeface and a particular font. But when you're having the two of them together, they are called combination mark. Same applies to Facebook. We have just the F, but we also have the Facebook. So when they are coming together, something like this will come there. We call them combination mark. So that is just that about combination mark. There's no much explanation about that. It's just like putting two things together, putting two things together, a combination of 1 and 2, adding it together just to form one thing. So just a brief recap, talk about emblems, combine text and symbolic imagery to form ornate designs with a traditional feel, and we have the great Manchester United logo as a very, very good example. There are also other logos except for Manchester United, but of course, which team do you want me to put there? It's the best team, of course, the best team, Manchester United. Also, you have mascots that has an illustrated character as a visual representation or ambassador for the brand. Where we have the KFC, the smiling old man, and we also have the Michelin man by Michelin that is waving to motorists. Alright, we have the abstract logo marks, their image-based logo that use abstract form. For example, they have the Nike, we have the Olympics, we have the Adidas, we have the Pepsi. Alright, I know that now we all understand the meaning of those logos. The Nike, just to it, and Adidas, the mountain climbing form of logo, and different forms, the one with the 3 leaves and all of those. We have the logo symbols that show symbols or image that reflect the brand identity or activity that goes on with the logo. We have the letter marks that are made up of brand initials. For example, we have the IBM, we have CNN, we have BBC, we have HP, LV, we have NASA, and NHBC can also fall into something like this, brand initials. Now letter forms, we have letter forms that that only include the first letter of the company's name, you understand. So for example, we have Facebook, Netflix, Pinterest, Uber, Beats, OPay, PalmPay. You see the O, you see the P in front of their logo. And the first one we talked about, word marks, consist of the company's name written in a certain typeface or font. While this may sound straightforward, simple can be other but complex. For example, we have the Coca-Cola, we have the Subway, we have the Casper, we have the Kellogg's, eBay, and Western. So basically, just like I said, logo design is not branding, but logo design is part of branding. So I've been able to explain to you what branding means, what brand identity means, and the different types of logos we have. So we've just talked about one aspect of brand identity. We've talked about font typography before. Yes, we talked about that in the elements of designing. We talked about typography, we've talked about that, we've talked about imagery. So since we talked about that, it's going to save us the time so that we can dwell more on how to create these logos, and with time we'll understand how to create a full brand identity, and how to always send your logo design out to your clients to make sure and make you look like a professional, and it's going to also spring forth your pay, because if I'm asking you to design a logo for me and you just give me a logo, and someone design a full brand identity guideline for me, you understand, even without asking me for it, I should know that what this person is delivering is more than what this other guy has sent me. So it's more of you're updating yourself, getting to know the new things to do and the right thing to do as a professional. So if there's any question, I would like to attend to them right now.